Hello everyone and welcome to Simply Cooked by Maggie and Paul. Now today I'm going to show you how to make something that everyone loves but nobody thinks about making them. And what it is, I'm going to show you how to make crisps, or if you're in the USA, chips. And they're really easy to make, and you might be asking, why do you want to make crisps when you can just simply go out and buy them? And the reason is the chips, the crisps that I've made today are really healthy, because crisps that you buy from the store, they're usually deep fried and they're covered in salt. These are not fried at all. These are done in the oven, and I haven't put any salt at all on these. I'll either just give them a sprinkle of salt and let people put more on if they wish, or I might just leave them and let people put whatever salt on they want. But these are really good. They're very, very crispy. Look, they're as crispy as the ones you buy, and I can tell you that they taste just as good, if not better.
Okay, to make homemade chips is really easy. All you need to make them are some potatoes, and today I'm using Maris Piper potatoes because they make a really nice crisp. And I'm using 3 medium ones, which will make enough crisps equivalent to one of those big family bags that you buy at the supermarket. Now today we're not going to be frying the crisps. We're going to be putting them in the oven. We're going to oven bake them, and to do that we need to coat them in oil. And you can use any oil you wish, really. I'm using virgin olive oil today because it's healthy, but a lot of people use just vegetable oil. The only other thing you need is some salt to season it after we've cooked them. And the best salt I found to season is a coarse sea salt, and that's what I've got here. Although, because the whole point of making these crisps is to make them healthy, hence we're not frying them, I'm going to use healthy salt. I'm going to be using some of this low salt. But again, you've got control of this. You can use whatever salt you want, and you can put as much or a little on as you want. Now, I'm going to be peeling the potatoes in a minute, and once I've peeled them, we're going to slice them into very, very thin slices. And you want to make the slices about 2 millimeters. You can go down to 1 millimeter if you want. That'll make a finer crisp, but this will make a sort of a kettle type crisp that you buy at the supermarket. And to slice them, you can either use a knife and be very, very careful. But today I'm going to be using this thing called a mandolin, and basically all it is, it's sort of a guillotine for vegetables. You go like that with your vegetables, and out the bottom of it cuts very thin slices. But let me tell you, you have to be really careful if you're going to use one of these, because I'd only had this for 5 minutes and I nicked my finger with it, hence the plaster. So you get a guard with it, so make sure that you put the guard on, and I'll show you what I mean when we get to that bit of it. The only other things we'll need is you'll need the trusty old bowl, and you need to get yourself a sieve, and you need to get some paper towels, because we need to get these things really dry, these slices, when we've made them. And today, I don't normally wear gloves, but today I'm going to put these gloves on when we start mixing the oil in here, because, as I say, I cut myself with this mandolin. So let's get on and peel these potatoes.
Oh, okay, so I'm just going to peel these. Now, I don't have to show you how to peel. Everyone knows how to peel a potato. The thing I did want to mention is you don't have to peel them if you don't want. If you just slice them without peeling, it'll turn out just as well.
Right, the potatoes are peeled. So what we're going to do now is we're going to slice them. So I've got myself a bowl of cold water, and it's got to be as cold as you can make it. Some people put ice in here. I'm not going to bother with the ice today, but you want it to be cold. You don't want it to be warm, because what we're trying to do here, we're trying to get the starch out of the potatoes. It'll make a better crisp. So here's my mandolin, and this particular mandolin has 3 settings: 1 millimeter, 2 millimeters, and 3 millimeters. And I've got it set to 2 millimeters. So as I mentioned earlier, this will make a sort of a kettle, a thicker crisp, a kettle type crisp. And you've got to be really careful. So put the guard on like that. guard on. I'm not going to peel straight into there. I'm just going to peel onto this block so you can see what I'm doing. But can you see? Can you see? So that's how many chips we've made. Oh, sorry, how many crisps we've made. And I'm just going to pop those into the cold water. Like that. And we'll get back to you in about half an hour. And then what we're going to do then is we're just going to rinse them through again with cold water. And then we're going to lay them out on some paper towels and dry them off. So we'll get back to you in half an hour.
Right, the slices have had half an hour in cold water, and what I've done, I've rinsed them out and rinsed them under the cold water about 2 or 3 times, and I've eventually left them in this sieve. So you see they're still quite wet. So what we're going to need to do now is we need to get those slices dry. And the way to do that, if I can just put this out of the way for a second, is get yourself some kitchen roll like this, and you want, I don't know how much we need for this lot. Let's have a go. If we need some more, now I'm going to do a double thickness because I want it to absorb a lot of the moisture. And then basically what you do, again I'll put this out of the way so it's not distracting you, but you literally lay them out like this. And there we go. So I just need to dry that top layer off again. And there we go. We'll give those a minute and they'll be nice and dry. And what we're going to do now is we're going to put them onto baking trays and put them in the oven. Right, so they're looking nice and dry now. I've been patting them for the last couple of minutes. I'm just going to move them up this way a touch, because what we're going to do now is, just while I was off camera, I've just washed my bowl and I made it nice and dry, because we're going to put these now, these slices, into this bowl, and we're going to get them oiled up in a moment. And again, we'll just give them a final pat. There you go. Right, it's time to oil them. So as I say, I'm using extra virgin olive oil. You can use whatever oil you want. And you need to coat every one of these. And the easiest thing is to dribble a bit in and then get your fingers through and work it in. So you don't need a lot of oil, you just need to make sure it's coating them all. So here's what I'm doing. And you must make sure that you do coat every single chip if you can at all help it. Yeah, they're all covered. So now what we've got to do now, let's get this out of the way. My hands are all sticky, and excuse me for going out of shot, but I don't know how many trays we're going to need. My ovens are not very big. I should have really put 2 ovens on here, but I've dug out 3 trays like this. I'm going to pull this back into shot. And basically, what we're going to do is just lay these out like this. And there we go. So these are ready for going in the oven. Okay, so my oven's nicely up to temperature. I'm going to pop these in. Now basically what I've done is I've just done this by trial and error over the last week, but I find about 190 degrees C for about 9 minutes per side is a good start for them. So that's what I've set the oven to. Now we've got to keep an eye on these, especially in the second half, because we don't want them burning. But on the other hand, we don't want them too soft. So we're okay for the first 9 minutes, but when it comes to the second, we do need to keep an eye on it. Okay, well that's the first half done, and I decided to turn them up a little bit and give them an extra minute. So they've been on for 10 minutes for most of the time at 200 degrees, and all I'm going to do now is I'm just going to spin them over and put them back in. Okay, so I've turned them over and I'm going to put them back on to do the other side. I've set it to 200 degrees. I've gone up a little bit and I'm going to set it for 10 minutes, but I need to keep a close eye on these, because even though you're using a mandolin, you'll find that the thickness of the chips they do vary, so the thin chips are going to go first. At the end of this, there might be some that's still a little bit rubbery. So what we'll do, we'll give them an extra 5 minutes at the end. But let's see what happens at the end of this second half. Okay, well we've got about, I would say about 60% of them are done, and I've just sorted out the ones that want a further blast, and I'm just going to put those in. It's really the ones from the middle shelf. The ones at the top have done great, and the ones at the bottoms have done really well, but the ones from the top still seem a little bit rubbery, which leads me to believe that even though it's a fan oven, the middle of this oven is not quite as hot as the top and bottom. But I've got a fair few of them. Look, and they're nice and crisp. So I'm just going to give these, I'm going to set it for 5 minutes, but I am going to keep an eye on it because they'll go all at once. So there they go. We've had another 5-minute blast with them, and these are now looking done. Oh yes, much better. I think it's a combination of some chips or crisps are thicker than others. As I say, I don't think this fan oven is given an even temperature across its top to bottom, but it's okay, it's easy enough to fix. And there we go. There's our potato crisps. Keep calling them chips, I don't know why. In England they're known as crisps. But there you go. All nice and crisp. I've not put any salt on them. I think we'll season them to taste as people start eating them. Right, the crisps have had time to cool down now, and as they cool down they go crisper, by the way. And what I've decided to do, you need to put them somewhere airtight. So I found this airtight container. I'm going to store those, and those will keep for about a week. Now what I've decided to do is not to put salt in with this lot. I'll let people decide how much salt they want when they're eating them. But I can't wait, so I'm just going to pull a few out. And I'm going to sprinkle some salt on it, just have a taste at them, see what they taste like. So that'll keep for about a week. Now I'm torn. I'm conscious that I shouldn't have a lot of salt, but they taste so much better if you put the sea salt on them. So I'm going to be indulgent. I'm going to put a little bit of sea salt on those. And let's have a go, see what it tastes like. That tastes fantastic. That tastes as good as something you buy from the shop. And they're so easy to make. Have a go, you'll be surprised. You'll think, how can I make crisps? And there you go, you'll make them. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Thank you and bye.